What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Motivational Monday. Today, I'm going to kind of talking about an experience that we had, which would be a couple weeks ago now. But we went down to Eastern Kentucky, Prestonsburg to be exact, and we helped put on a drag race at an airport. This race was really, really significant to us. Our buddy Kent, which you may or may not know who Kent Rose is, Kent started a no prep race at this airport 10 years ago before anybody did this. Like, to my knowledge, and someone will probably correct me that I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, I think he was really one of the first people to put on events like he did. It was an arm drop. It was no prep. It was on this really terrible surface. There really was a great equalizer. And he grew this into really a huge event down there for the area. And then some politics, of course, got involved because it wasn't actually a racetrack. It was, I don't know whose property it was, how that worked. But anyway, there was a change of hands in the government down there, and they kind of ran Ken out. Well, then that all happened, and then Kent really wanted to get back to putting on races there after there was some, governmental changes. Well, then Kent got sick, man. He got cancer. It was stage 4. When he found out that he had it, it was already really bad. So there honestly wasn't a lot that they could do for him. And he left this earth shortly after, he found this out. Well, there's a lot of uniqueness about Kent Rose. I could do probably 15 motivational Mondays on just who Kent Rose was, how he acted, how he gassed people up, how he loved people, how he made people feel special. He was an amazing individual, a giant man and a giant personality. But when Kent died, as he was laying in a hospital bed, he wasn't really thinking about himself. He was thinking about the legacy that he was going to leave. And as he was sitting in this hospital bed, he was trying to put a bow on his life box, right? He was thinking of every way that he needed to tie it up, and he was communicating this to his sons and his wife. And as cancer was eating his body away, it was not eating his mind. So he laid out a kind of an agenda, basically, of how he wanted this race to go and how he wanted it to benefit the community, how he wanted it to be all for charity, all these things. And he literally planned a lot. It's crazy how much he planned, and left it with his wife. So kind of laid this foundation, and then he passed. He left this earth. It took, 5 or 7 years, depending on who you ask, to make his dying wish a reality. The man didn't even have a funeral. He just wanted this drag race to happen. And we were lucky enough to be a small part of helping make this deal happen. And Brad and I, it was Brad and I, Charlie Bennett, Happy that you've seen on one of our podcasts, Happy's wife, Charlie's wife, another lady named Sarah, and then Ryan Mitchell was kind of the race crew. Well, none of us had ever been to this place before this. We weren't around when Kent was doing it. We watched videos, we went to the tape, we tried to figure out how to give it as much of a vibe as what Kent had as possible. But as we were rolling in to this place, that had no cell phone service, by the way, like none. We roll down into Eastern Kentucky, and we're going down all these back roads, and we are in a holler. We pull into the airport gate that's kind of a makeshift gate to get everybody through. It's a backwoods deal. You roll into this airport, and you are surrounded by trees and valley and mountains, and man, it's breathtaking. And we got there maybe about 10 o'clock in the morning. So there was still like a little bit of fog out, right? And fog in the mountains, it was like this spirit that was just hovering over this place. It was just absolutely beautiful. And to me, when we rolled in, I could feel the legacy that he left. I could feel it. And I think everyone around could feel it, because he tangibly left a mark on this place. And I think that places have memories, right? They have, when everyone's there for a specific purpose and everybody's having a good time, people have a spirit in them. And I think that we deposit that. So I could just feel all this deposit that had been left at this place, and it was waiting to be, waiting to be revived. And Brad, actually is the one that named the event. So when we were starting having this conversation, he's like, you got to name it the Arm Drop Revival. And now, more perfect words really have never been made. Like that was the name for the event, because what revival means is to awaken something, to revive it, something that was already there. You're bringing it back. And that was the theme of the weekend. And what it taught me was that when your time is done, Kent's time was done unexpectedly, but even in that, he did a great job of passing the torch of, this is how far I've taken it, but I want the next generation to pick it up where I left off and make it even better than it was. And I think a lot of people miss that. I think that we miss that we are the foundation for the next generation. Our job as people is to build something and then pass it off. And Kent really understood that. And it made me think of something, and I want you to walk with me here. This is in Genesis, and it's probably not going to make sense when I first say it. But this is Genesis 1, right when this deal started. And said, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So God created. Now the earth was formless and empty. Dark was hovering over the surface of the deep. So it says that God created, and the way that I think about this is I think that God created the heavens and the earth, and it was formless and empty. So it sat there empty for a time. We don't know if that was a logical day or if it was years, centuries, whatever. We don't know. So God created, and then it was sitting there, formless and empty, and darkness was hovering over the surface. And that's how I kind of felt like when we rolled in that place, that Kent had created something, and then for a time, it was sitting there just as an airport. And actually, it's even closed it's been closed for a while. So it was truly formless and empty. Like the vegetation had came in, it was overgrown. They had to do all this work for us to get there. Then the next phrase, but darkness was hovering over the face of the deep. But then the Spirit of God was hovering. So that's kind of what it felt like to me with that fog rolling in, that there was a spirit of excitement that was hovering, a spirit that was about this. And then in the next verse, it says, and God said, let there be light. So when we rolled in, formless, void, darkness, people's spirit, and people roll in, let there be light. The revival happens. And it's go time. And from that, honestly, my favorite event of the year. It was awesome. Because to watch all these people get to relive all these old memories that they had and make new ones was absolutely phenomenal. It was so fun to watch. And for your life, I think your takeaway from this is there's all these places and ideas and things that are sitting out there that are without form or void. They may have sat out there in time for a long time and nobody's done anything with them. But it's our job to go to these places and bring the light. And I know today's not 9/11, but when this video gets released, it's going to be on 9/11. I had already planned this before Ricky. Ricky does a great job of keeping me informed. I had planned this message before I knew it was going to drop on 9/11. And we can't drop a video like this and not talk about that. And what I think is so significant with these messages that kind of line up is something really terrible happened at that place. Knocked America down. But what happened after was beautiful. America came together. We had a common goal, and we wanted to rebuild from the ashes. And that's really the common theme. With Kent's event, with all this stuff, we need to be able to go to those places and rebuild. And to watch America do that, and to one of the most powerful images of that whole thing is in that rubble, the American flag getting held up by all those firefighters, police officers, everybody that was making it happen, that through the rubble, you could not take the spirit of America down. Our flag was still risen high. So to wrap it all up in a bow, if you will, find those flags within, right? Find that American spirit within, and in those places, bring the light, bring the flag, and bring the hope. So we love you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.